Nigeria police force under the leadership of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetoken, has kept mum since a video went viral on social media platforms, wherein allegation of bringing people illegally to settle inside forest in Edo State was made against the divisional police officer, the DPO, who is currently serving at the divisional police headquarters at Ugboha community in the Essen Southeast local government area in the state, a state that have witnessed rampant cases of kidnappings in recent time, especially since the beginning of this year, despite the fact that the Edo State Governor, Monday Okpebholo, has executed the destruction of numbers of houses or properties of apparent innocent landlords or people who may not have direct connection with the crime. It may be recalled that early 2025, the governor demolished a residential property on College Road simply because it was linked to a kidnapping gang operating in the Aduawa, Iyan, and Benin Auchi Road bypass axis, even when the building belonged to a woman based in Italy. Just that, her brother, Osamede Asamota, the alleged key leader of the gang, allegedly used it to coordinate abductions. This is just one of many properties demolished by the Edo state government over kidnapping in the state, yet, records of kidnappings in the state continued to grow higher, and recent police and military arrests indicated that Edo State is perhaps under siege of foreign invaders who may have taken over larger part of the state forest to coordinate kidnappings in the state while working with some of the local residents to perpetuate the criminal act. It may be interesting to note that another set of non-indigenes of the state arrested by the police recently included 2 persons caught inside the specialist hospital in Auchi. The 2 suspects who were said to be non-indigenes of the state were among the gang of kidnappers behind the abduction of Dr. Abu Babatunde, who regained his freedom after his family reportedly paid a sum of 50 million nairas ransom after the doctor and his younger brother were abducted on January 2, 2026. While opening the gate to their residence along City Pride Road, Igbira Camp, Auchi, and unfortunately, the younger brother was later found dead on January 5 near the Orly River along City Pride Road, with police suspecting he was killed by the abductors, and the alleged illegal settlers who confessed the Ugboha DPO as their facilitator are said to be non-Nigerians from foreign countries. According to one of the vigilantes who caught the illegal settlers, the arrested illegal settlers in the forest will be taken to the station. The vigilante member also said the illegal settlers are not Nigerians, and close watchers said people are brought in and smuggled into Edo forests illegally, and such people may be responsible for the act of kidnapping in the state. Available records indicated that the kidnapping situation in the state is currently happening almost daily, with numbers of the state residents and indigenes also recorded dead or killed by kidnappers since Governor Monday Okpebholo came into power. On the recent arrest of 2 suspects at the specialist hospital in Auchi, the Edo State Command Public Relations Officer, Ino Ikiodum, the first breakthrough came on the 3rd of February 2026. Operatives of the Auchi Division, day after the Edo State Commissioner of Police, Monday Agbonika, personally led troops of joint security operatives at the dead of the night to launch offensive attacks against kidnappers in the forest. The commander, 4 Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Ahmed Balogun, also personally led troops of joint security operatives to the kidnappers' hideouts and launched massive military clearance and offensive actions against kidnappers. Both security operations led to the arrest of several suspected kidnappers allegedly caught in the act inside the bush, with the identities of the arrested suspects indicating that most of the kidnappers terrorizing Edo State are from the far northern part of Nigeria, an observation which appeared to have challenged the public policy statement made earlier in January 2026 by the Edo State Governor, Monday Okpebholo, who stated that many of those involved in the kidnapping surge in Edo State are indigenes of the area, saying, "That may be the reason some kidnappers wear face masks." The governor made this statement as kidnapping in the state appeared to have become worse in 2026 and very rampant, in a manner that indicated that an average of 1 to 2 persons are being kidnapped in a day in Edo State, as more than 60 persons became new victims of the increasing criminal activities in the state since the beginning of 2026. Like, in January 2, 2026, 2 brothers, Dr. Abu Ibrahim Babatunde, a medical doctor on housemanship, and Abu Tahir, a fresh graduate, were kidnapped at the gate of their residence along City Pride Road, Igbira camp in Auchi. The kidnappers initially demanded a 200 million naira ransom, and tragically, on January 5th, one of the two brothers was found dead. On January 9, 2026, 8 indigenes of Amoga community in the Akoko, Edo local government area of the state were abducted from a hotel along Abilo Road. Since the start of 2026, Edo State has experienced a significant surge in kidnappings, leading to widespread protests at Ikpoma in the Edo Central Senatorial Zone, with multiple police rescue operations, including the incidents reported early February 2026, where police rescued 9 victims, including 5 children and a separate group of 14 victims. This is that, earlier on January 22, 2026, a farmer named Monday Adero was kidnapped and later rescued, and in late January, another farmer, Abraham Udwa, and his 2 wives, Brinda and Anna, were abducted from Agoro Amende community but successfully rescued by security forces. In mid-January, Ake Favor and a former student union leader were kidnapped in Edo Central. Troubled by the surge in kidnapping in the state, residents and students of Ambrose Ali University, AAU staged a major protest on January 10, 2026, citing daily kidnappings and the abduction of a university professor and numerous students. On February 2, 2026, a family of 9 was ambushed at Eko Abeku Ioa Road in Ovia Northeast local government area, and the kidnappers demanded a 260 million naira ransom for 4 children and 2 women still held after 5 others were rescued. In this write-up, a legal practitioner, Njoku Jude Njoku, pinpoints some fundamentals in the judgment passed against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by Justice James Omotosho, which convicted and sentenced the Biafra Republic agitation leader to life imprisonment. And in this press release the legal practitioner issued in late 2025, entitled, the 24th of November 2025, the day evidence ceased to matter in Nigerian courts, judicial silence, selective justice, and media complicity, described Justice Omotosho as unprofessional, stating that the most dangerous aspect of the judgment delivered by Justice James K. Omotosho is not merely that it reached a foreordained conclusion, but that it did so by deliberately suppressing evidence he already admitted on record in his own court, thereby converting adjudication into a procedural facade. This was not an error of law or an oversight of fact. It was a calculated refusal to engage with material evidence whose evaluation would have fatally undermined the prosecution's narrative, emphasizing that this case is no longer about one man. It is about whether courts may openly disregard admitted evidence and still be treated as legitimate, and whether the media will continue to mask such conduct through silence. A judiciary that can ignore evidence without explanation has ceased to function as a court of law. A media that refuses to question that silence has abdicated its public duty. Together, they place the rule of law itself in existential peril. Continuing, in details, Njoku said, once evidence is admitted, it binds the judge absolutely. The conduct, protest, silence, or alleged boycott of the defendant, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is legally irrelevant to that obligation. Judgment writing is not a negotiation with the accused. It is a solitary judicial duty anchored exclusively to the evidentiary record. A judge may reject defense evidence, but he must first confront it, evaluate it, and explain why it is rejected. Silence is not neutrality. Silence is suppression. Had Justice Omotosho evaluated the admitted video exhibit of Theophilus T.Y. Danjuma, he would have been confronted with the inescapable reality that public calls for communities to arm themselves in self-defense against murderous violence were not unique to Nnamdi Kanu, nor criminalized when made by powerful establishment figures. Proper evaluation would have compelled the court to accept that Kanu's calls for guns and bullets in Los Angeles, USA, or during broadcasts were framed as community self-defense against the ravages of armed Fulani killer herders, not incitement to lawless violence. Had Justice Omotosho evaluated the admitted video evidence of Governor Hope Uzodinma, he would have known, because Uzodinma stated it publicly, that neither Nnamdi Kanu nor the IPOB had any hand in the killing of Ahmed Gulak. That single evaluation would have punctured one of the most politically weaponized allegations surrounding this case. Had Justice Omotosho listened to his fellow Yoruba kinsman and Nigeria's intelligence chief, Adeola Oluwatosin Ajayi, whose statements were also admitted in evidence, he would have been forced to acknowledge that the formation of armed vigilante groups for community defense was openly endorsed at the highest levels.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.